Greetings, my name's Dwayne, and this is part 3 of our building the ornamental gnomes. Now the first part we did was on making the beard, and the second part was on doing the base of the body here, putting the base on and the arms. So now we're going to finish it up here with doing the hat and the rest of the bottom of the body here. And I'm going to show you how to put them together, and we're going to just get our craft foam going here. This is the piece we started out with, so I like to keep doing the same thing, keep with the same materials and everything. So let me put him aside here. So we'll cut out our next couple pieces here to make the hat and the bottom part there. Now these can be the same color if you like. I've chosen to use 2 different colors on this one, but on some of them I've stuck with the same color. So you can do that. You can experiment, try different things with them, but we're going to do this same gnome here with the green hat and the rest of the red body here. And what you'll need is then 2 different pieces of craft foam, or you can just stick with the one if you're doing the one color. And what I've done is I've designed it so the hat and the body are using the same piece. The first time I did it, I did different measurements for the hat and did a couple different things, and decided, well, just make it easier to do it all the same. So what I've done, let me get this set up here right, is I've measured out 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inch square. You'll need 7 of them. If you're doing the 2 different colors, I do 4 for the body, and then I do 3 of the different color for the hat. So we'll go over that a couple times, I'm sure, but all I'm doing is cutting out 2 by 2 squares off of my glitter foam. And again, the glitter foam, I get mine at Hobby Lobby, but you can pick it up almost anywhere. They have them at the craft stores, the Joann's, the Michael's. I'm sure you can order online if you want, but the sheets I get at Hobby Lobby are about $1. They work out real well, and I can get a couple gnomes out of them actually. And again, I'm just cutting out 2 by 2 squares. We'll have it just as simple as that, and I'll save the rest for my next one. So here I have for my body, my 4, and like I said, I want to do green for the top. So I just have 3 cut out for the top, 3 for the bottom. Let me get set aside here just a little bit here. And we're going to do the same thing for each piece. So here's the tricks. And this takes just a little bit of time to do, just to show you and everything. Once again, I'm going to fold it so the back side showing towards me up, and I have my fold going here towards me. I'm going to go in about 1/4 inch, 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. Cut towards, and again, leave about 1/4 inch. Turn it to the left, and cut until I get about to 1/4 inch again. Now we're going to do this 3 times. So I'm going to have 3 cuts going along here. Grab a hold of you there. Be careful just not to cut into the other lines. And so there you have your 3 cuts. Open it up, and there we have what our starting point is. Now that we have the cuts done, we're going to start doing some folding and gluing. This has been my most difficult part. I know some people are going to say, well, I can do that, that's easy. Well, other times, some things aren't. Well, this is one thing that just sort of plagued me from the beginning. Took me a little while to play with, and sometimes you just have to practice. I'm taking my 2 sides here, and what I'm doing is also, it's here we have my one outside, 1, 2, 3. I'm going with number 3. Folding them in and folding the top in at the same time and turning them around and then pulling them out. As I said, this has been my most difficult thing, to just turn that inside out like that. And I'm going to show you a couple times to do that, because it's to try to go roundabout and turn and bring it out so you have the back side of the glitter foam there showing. As I said, that's probably the hardest part of the whole thing. Next, we're going to take the next one here, and we're going to fold it in so that it's coming to a point there. Going to fold that side in, pinch it together, and here's where we get our hot glue out. And just glue lightly inside there. I just want a little light inside there, pinch it together. I don't want it oozing out all over the place. Again, you're going to get those stringings all over if you do that. And then what we're going to do, as you can see, I'm flipping it around here a bit, but I'm going to take the bottom side and add just a touch of glue and glue that down a little bit. And what I'm looking for is to glue that onto that little rectangle that's in the middle there, having it facing towards my bottom piece there. And then what I'm going to do is put dab of glue right on the point there. And we're going to fold it up. So I'm folding it right on top of that second one there. Hold it for a second. And there you get your nice little bow tie curls on it. As I said, this is practice. You got to practice these. It took me a little while to get into figuring out how to make one. I watched a bunch of 3-minute videos that were just music videos showing quickly how to fold your glitter foam. And it took me a long time to start folding and cutting and learning that, just to come up with my own ideas on how to make them. So I've done that with the first one, the second one. Now I'm on the outer one, the third one, and I do the exact same thing that I did with the second one. I bring that up around and I fold it, pinch it together, and then do just a little bit of glue inside there to close it. Fortunately, you're going to have 6 more tries to learn how to do it too with the other ones there. Now, we're not going to go through all of them on the video here, but I am going to show you a couple times just so we can make sure we get that down. It's not that easy, and you can go back and look at it. And now that we've done our crease, again, I'll go on to the bottom side. And here I want it to lay across. I want to have this nice little layering here. So I have the bottom triangle down here, or looks like a triangle now. I have the second piece, and then I have this piece here. The other way I could do it if I wanted to is to bring this down and have that so everything shows through the top part. Just another option. Just when you get the gnome put together, it gives it more of a base on it there, more of a dressing type of look to it if you do it that way versus this. I've done it this more of the ornamental way for me to have it, just to be showing off more. So what I'm going to do is glue underneath here, but I'm not going to glue up top here. I'm going to glue right about in the middle here, just to add it to that piece there. That way you can see this comes up. I have my curve there going on between the pieces. And that's how I put together my basic pieces. As I said, I'm going to need 7 of these. We're going to have 3 for the hat, 4 of the red ones for the base. If you want to try different colors, do different colors. Mix and match. I haven't tried that quite yet, but I have gone with just keeping it all the same. If you want to do that to start out with too, just get you an idea there. But we're going to do a hat one here too, where we fold it over, and I'm just going to show you again. If you feel okay, this is repetitive, you know how to do it, that's great. Skip over, fast forward through this. I'm not going to show you doing all 7, but at least give you a couple, just so you have, a little bit of working with them, because this is the tougher part to putting this together. It's a little more advanced than just cutting something out and gluing it on to your gnome there. So once again, we're going about a 1/4 inch. Turn the fold towards you. And it is important that you cut the right directions, or else you end up with something that you're not going to be being able to fold or glue together correctly. And for my 3rd time. And if you want to measure out, you can. I've just done it so many times now that I don't measure. But if you want, when you fold it over, let me get you out here. If you wanted to, when you fold it over like this, you take your ruler and then mark your 1/4 inches. You might want to do that to start out with too. That way you have, you can measure it, 1/4 inch, draw it out. That might make it a little bit simpler to start out with, to know that you're getting your lines down and everything. Just want to give you ideas, give you a chance to, make sure you get it, that you can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect either. Mine may not be close, always a 1/4 inch type of thing. So once again, I'm taking my inside, my inside loop there. Here's the tricky part again, is taking the 2 corners, folding them in and the top corner in, twirling it around, and then pulling them out. And sometimes I have to pull a little bit more. There we go. As I said, that's just not the easy part for me, to learn how to twist that in there. So it's good to practice that. Let me see if I can grab one more. Okay, one more I've already cut out here of the red there, just to show you again. And it may be redundant, but at times, sometimes it's easier just to keep doing it, practicing to learn. And I've done that a couple times where I've just taken one and spent a few minutes just redoing it. So I've fold all that in, curl it around, and then pull those edges out. Pull your side edges out. And they'll twist around. So practice, practice, practice. That's all I found as far as doing that. That's my hardest part, is getting my fold in there. The rest is actually just gluing together, taking my corners and doing that. And you can always, as I said, stop the video, take a moment, rewind, go back. It's a nice thing about having the video there to go back and look at. glue that together. And again, we're taking the bottom side, putting just that little dab of glue on there. And then gluing it down. And when I glue it down, again, I'm getting about a 1/4 inch between the bottom one there. And I'm also usually getting right about at the points on the sides there of that rectangular up top there. Just to give you an idea where to glue it down, that you're not gluing it on top of this piece. And then adding my little touch of glue. Bending that right up top there. Holding it down. I like the looks of this so much, and I'm going to try to think of something else I can do just to have that showing, but there was just not enough. Just too much open space really to do it with a gnome type of thing, but even to come up with an ornament or something would be kind of cool with that. But just other thoughts. I mean, there's just other things that I try to, when I'm playing with them, come up with. And that was the fun thing with this. And I've told a few people, this was all basically by mistake that I came up with this. I was trying to come up with a keychain. I'm coming up with an idea, and I'm still trying to work on the idea of making a keychain. And I made the beard. The beard part was a lot smaller, and I was trying to make that into a keychain. And as I was making it, and I was trying to make it the whole gnome, I realized it looked more like a beard than it did just the gnome. So from that, I attached it to a body. You know, attached it to, as I've said it before in the other video, this is the Woodland Wizard pattern for the body, and put it together. And from there, started working with some of these other pieces and just started playing with it. So I totally encourage people to try, work things out. So I've told other people too, last year I started working with the craft foam, the glitter foam, and started playing and wanted to make ornaments. Wanted to make an ornament and wanted to work it into a gnome, and it didn't work out. I did a few things. They didn't come out the greatest. They weren't folded nicely. Things just didn't work out so nice looking as these have. These have come out real well. As you can see, I've got my curves here now, looking great. So now we have our basic pieces. And as I said, you're going to need 7 of these. I took a moment there to show you how to put them together, and I've already made my other pieces in order to speed it up here so we're not just going through the same motion there. But you will. Sometimes you have to go back and redo it, relook at everything to be able to get the idea of putting it together here. So now we're going to put together the hat. We'll start with that first, and then we'll put together the body here. So the hat, I'm going to use my 3 green pieces. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue along the back side here. And again, it's just a light trim, and what I want to do is come down just to where it starts to curve here. So you're going to have about 1.5 inches of glue here, and I'm going to start just below the top peak there, the top corner, the edge there. I don't really want the corner glued down quite yet. So I got just a little over 1 inch basically of glue there, right about 1 inch, and just a touch more. And we're going to take and just lay that on there. And again, I don't want my glue oozing out here. That's why I'm just using a light little bit underneath, pinching it nicely, nice and tight together there, but not Not too much that oozes out there. And so we've just glued those sides together. And as I mentioned in the other video, this is all gluing. We're not doing any sewing whatsoever. It's just gluing, cutting and gluing. And now the third piece is just going to be glued in right there. And we're going to glue one side and then glue the other. And that's why I left the top open just a little bit, because I want that to line up top there. And again, you're going just about an inch, a little more, maybe just a little more than an inch with your glue. So almost halfway really between the two ends there. I'm putting your glue on there if you're wondering. Again, I'm going to line that up. And now here I want to make sure my corner gets up in there. Put my edge pieces together. And also with it being just a light strip of glue, it does dry quicker than just having to put heavy globs of glue on, and you can poke and pull off a little bit if it does come through like that. And then I have my third one to go together. Unfortunately, it's not a type of thing where I could just set down on something else or, move it around. I just have to. And unfortunately, I don't have 3 hands here. So again, I'm going with a light line of glue here. And we'll just glue that right together. So this gives me my hat, my triangular 3-piece hat, which we can bring our body back over. And what I want to do is I want to put it so I have the in-between here, not where I have my points coming down, but my points can be off to the side. That's going to come down here because I'm going to put my nose right here. Nice thing about doing that is when I put that in there where I have that opening there, it gives me a couple places for my nose to attach to, but it also gives me this nice little backing here where my V-shape triangular comes down right in the center of my back. Just a nice little finishing, nice little look here. And we're going to put a little bit of dab of glue on that to help hold it down too. So with the hat, I've tried it both ways with putting just some glue right up in there or putting glue just on my top part here. So I'm just going to do that, is put the glue right up on top of my cone. Now I can be a little bit more liberal with my glue here as long as I don't have it running down. But I want to make sure I'm sticking it on there. And again, I'm not looking for the triangle to be in the front. I'm looking for it to be off to the side. So I have where I glued down the center coming over. And I give that a few moments to dry, holding that down. Now if I do, so a lot of times too, if I put a lot of liberal glue on things, I am going to turn it over just so I'm not making sure that it's not running down anywhere. I can pinch it together a little bit there. And then on the back side, so I want to line that up. So I'm pretty much in the center there. I lift this up just a little bit and add just a little dab. Little dab of glue, gives a nice little security there, holds it on. And there we have our hat. We have our basic hat there put together. A piece of glue in there, got to get that out, but we'll get that out later. Now here we're putting together, now we'll work on just putting together the body here. As you can see, it's just simply, I've started out with my base, my beard. The pieces here I designed so they can go right next to each other, and what I do is I start right at the edge of the beard there. And what I'm trying to do is line this up pretty much right underneath the beard there. I want to have where my rectangle here comes down just to the edge there. So it's hanging over. And that's how I line up my first one, is making sure I got to the edge there of the beard. Bring that down. Sometimes I think I should have music playing in the background or something, but that gets very distracting. Just to, fill the time there. And what I want to do is I'm gluing my sides, my edges there a little bit, and again, a little bit more liberal with this glue, but I don't want to come down into this part. This part's going to be hanging over the base, so I don't want glue coming down into here. And once I have that glued, again, I'm going right to the side of the beard there. And it's rounded a little bit because of the way that you've made it. So you're going to sort of push it down a little bit. Hold it down for a moment. And you can see now, this is how you get the ornate look to it. This is how we get our gnome putting together here. Push it down a little bit. And this is why, too, I use the same color that I use for the body. So it blends in. Blends in so nicely there. And gonna try eventually, see what it looks like if I do something with a different color, see how bright that shines, see if it's good. And that's the fun thing too, is just experimenting, trying different things. There is no right or wrong. Once you have the basics down, do your basics and then play from it. Even like the Woodland Wizards type of thing, I like to experiment with the different accessories. With this one here, like I said, I'm going with the same color here, but I'm also trying, since I mentioned trying different things. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they don't. Sometimes, some things come together. This is going with a silver glitter foam here for the beard and a white top. And the white's a little bit stark here, but I don't know how it's gonna, when I come out here, if I want to try with another white on the bottom here. Try some red. I might even put some glitter into it. I did that with my white one, my all white one that I did. I put actually some silver glitter into it to try to tone it down a little bit. And I might do that with this. I might put some red glitter on there. You can get some like spray adhesive and just spray it and then put the glitter on there. So I might do that to put some red accents into that. Just again, to give you some ideas that you can play with it a little bit and come up with different ideas. All right, so since I did the one side of the beard, now I'm going to do the other side of my beard. And we're going to glue it down the exact same way. Again, we're trying to avoid going down too far. We don't want to get that where it's hanging over the base. Add my glue on there. And just to the side of the beard there again. And I want these to, basically they're going to be touching, just maybe a little, just a touch of a little overlap type of thing there, but just coming together. So it looks like it's like seam, there's just a quick little seam that's meant to be there. glue it, hold it down, and I try to show you all the sides and angles so you can get an idea what you're looking at. So here's the bottom, so you can see that, yeah, I don't have the glue coming out on there. Now with this style here, I showed you that I had like the 3-tier. So when he does sit down, these need to flare out a little bit. With the other, as I said, trying to come up with taking this and bringing it down, you would have the flare of these on the bottom there. I don't have one here handy to show you that, unfortunately, but it's another idea. It's another, keeping it pretty much the same build. The only thing is you don't get the same look up top here. You don't get quite the curl into it. You got more of an open body if you do that, if you bring it down. But again, another design to look into, another thing to play with, just to get an idea and try different things with it. So here we have our basic front of the gnome there. And what I wanted to do was go all the way around. I didn't want to have it look just like a half-finished type thing. So that's another reason why we're doing the 2.5 inches, because this works out being able to place 4 of them on there. Once you get past the curling it and you get past the folding it together and doing all the stuff that really makes it look pretty and everything, the rest is just easy. It's just gluing it down. Get you on there. And again, I'm putting it right next to, I want it to be where it just comes up next to. It may overlap just a little bit. I want to push it down, give it a moment. Again, we're looking at the same height for the top part there. Might have to get in just a little bit and squeeze in there. And then we're going to add our 4th one on the side. Like I said, they may overlap just a little bit. You have to push them up a little bit. But let's get the glue on you. And we're going to stick you on there. Again, we're coming to where we have the seams there. Our final one, I might just need to adjust just a little. There we go. We're looking good. And again, it's practice, practice, practice. It's as long as you follow the basics, start out with your basics there, and then get into playing a little bit more with the designs, playing with something that, just to give it a little bit of character to it. And just so I don't forget, we're going to add the nose now. Got everything together here. As I said before, I'm using glitter balls, it was scatter basically, or vase filler that I picked up at Dollar Tree. And I seem to like the gold tone. Those just seem to stand out a little bit more. A couple I've tried with the silver or the white, just haven't popped as much as the gold tone. And you don't have to use the glitter balls. If you want to use your wood balls, that's fine. If you want to use pom-poms, whatever you use, if you want to use something special as a nose, I just thought it looks good all together, keeping it with the glitter look. And they do have different sizes too in the scatter. I'm running out of my bigger ones now, unfortunately. Use those up with several of the other ones. But I'm going to glue it down, glue it right on where the beard there comes together. And at times too, what I can also do is add just a little touch. I like to make sure I'm secure on everything. So I bend my hat back up just a little bit. Again, I'm just adding like a little dot of glue up here, just a little touch here. So when I bring my hat back down, the hat's glued right on there. Hold it for a moment, and then I do the other side. And again, it's just more securing the nose on there, making sure I got everything in place. Just little final touches like that. And then once again, I'm just putting something up top there, a little bit of scatter up top there. Cute little, just something to add to it. Now you don't have to. I mean, it looks good this way. I did take a look and see as far as putting like the butterfly wings on the back of it, and that was just way too much. I mean, they're wider gnomes, so you didn't see much of the wings anyways, and when you did see the wings, they just took away. They were more of a distraction than how beautiful these come out. I've also thought about trying to come up with some way of putting something on top here to make it more of an ornament. Putting something that you can hook on and being able to hold it up there. The first couple things I came up with just didn't work, didn't look nice enough and everything for me, so did not do that. But that's another idea, that if you wanted to come up with a way of putting something up there to hang it, we could do that. I've also thought of maybe putting the ribbon or something through before I glue the top on here. But for right now, these are freestanding gnomes. As I said, I pushed that out a little bit, so they'll stand. But it is quite possible to put something on here to make it ornamental. The other thing too that I've done, because I'll glue this right on the top here, if I want to carefully, I don't want to do this too much here, but just carefully cut the tip off. Just barely, just giving me a little bit more to put that on there, or even with leaving the tip on, just poke it in a little bit before I put that on there. Just again, another way to secure it a little bit more, so it's not just a little spot there holding it on there. Just my little tips and tricks that I recommend. If you find another way of doing it, great. If you want to put it down farther, this again is just scatter that I found from the Dollar Tree. Also was telling my wife that I found these little stars, and unfortunately I didn't pick them up. I had them in my hand, wasn't sure what I could do with them, so I left them there. And I said, well, next time I go back, I'm going to pick them up and see. Again, it's just scatter, but they were stars and glitter stars. I said, well, that might look nice up top there, because I never know. Sometimes we crafters pick up stuff, and like I said, this stuff I picked up about 6 months ago and just had laying around here and have not used it. And all of a sudden, wow, I've gone through almost 2 bags of it in no time, just because I came up with an idea to use it. And I'm sure we all do that. We pick up stuff at the craft stores, and that's how they get us, and that's how we get our what they call stash all around. So without going any farther, this is actually done. This is our holiday gnome. We've put it together here. As I said, this was the 3rd part video. I hope you've started out with the first couple. Take a look at them here. It's kind of hard at the end here to tell you now to go back and look at the other ones first, but we put together the gnome here. It looks beautiful with different colors. As I said, I like to do the 2 tones, but the great thing about them is you can do, this is a beautiful winter blue, love it. I'm going to try a couple of other different colors too, see how they come out. It's just experimenting, having some fun with it, and that's the fun thing with this, with the gnomes, is just the different things we can create, the different styles. And I like this for the holidays, and I think it's a great idea. Get out and play and do different things. Might be a little bit harder for some people to come up with with the folding and everything. It's a little bit more advanced than just cutting out a triangular hat and folding it. So that's how I do it. Take your time. I hope you enjoy it, and I'd love to see what you guys are doing. Thank you.